good morning, guys. Welcome to another Relax and Paint. I'm Donna Dewberry, and today we're going to do a simple watercolor effect where you can see through a mason jar and actually see the flowers behind the jar. So I thought it would be a fun little project to show you. And I'm hoping you're having a wonderful October whenever you watch this. It's the season to start getting with family and seeing or think what we're thankful for and the blessings. And so it's nice to be on with you this morning. And I love having a time to smile, share, and be with you guys. So hope you learned something today and that you like it. Just a little touch base with you on practice strokes. I have them every Friday at noon. And it's the perfect way if you're out there saying, ma'am, I want to learn how to paint this. I want to learn this technique. I want to learn how to use the brush, what the mediums are. All of that, guys, are on practice strokes. And that's right here on YouTube. And so that's how you get really good right at home. You can binge right at home on your YouTube Donna Dewberry channel on Fridays, or anytime you can watch it. And there's hundreds of little how-tos about the brushes and the mediums and everything that you might wonder what I'm talking about. All right. So check out that and check out my membership right here. All right. So let's get started. All right. So what I'm going to do, the first thing is I'm going to sketch what I want to have going here. So I have a ruler here. And what's going to happen with this is I'm going to come right here and I'm going to like line up where I want to be here. And right here is kind of like the middle. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to start here and go to like 22. And you just roll over and come right down here. All right. So what's going to happen is I can line this up here. And I have these rolling rulers. They're wonderful. They're right on my site, onestroke.com. And it helps you to be able to get, especially when you're doing landscapes and houses and different things that you want straight. All right. So I'm going to come right in here and do the rim of the jar. I'm going to curve it this way. And I'm going to curve it this way. Okay. And then we're going to curve down here. And curve down here. The only thing I like to do is do this circle on the bottom. That's not good. Let's erase all this right here and show you that. I'm going to come all the way down here and lightly, when you're sketching, you're supposed to do it really faint and don't draw a hard line. Okay. So I can then come in here and start curving right there to the jar. And this one's already there. So it's a light sketch. All right. And because we're going for a watercolor effect, the pencil lines are usually there, so that's fine. And I don't want this to be straight down here, actually. I want it to have a little bit of a curve. So see this curve here and this curve here. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to have a flower that's kind of back here. And you can see it from through the jar. And I can have a couple, like a hydrangea cluster kind of laying back here with a leaf. So I kind of sketch so I know where I'm going to be doing this stroke work, okay? All right, and then we'll get the jar going here, okay? So I think that's a good start, just what I want to see through it, okay? All right, so I'm going to take a plate. And you can use a double loader or a plate on this. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get some citrus. And let's get some sap green. And what we're using is multi-surface. Okay. I'm actually going to use sap or plastic. Let's do sap. There we are. Actually, this is thick. All right. Multi-surface paint. And we're going to put some floating medium in. The floating medium is the fluff that I use to paint with, not water. With one stroke, we don't want to use water. I'm trying to be quiet so I don't wake up everybody else in the house. And I'm being pretty noisy. Okay, so here is some titanium white. You just see a teeny bit of white. All right, and so then we're going to get a little bit of Prussian blue for our jar. Okay, so a little bit, just a teeny bit. And then the flowers that I have in the bag, I'm going to use some marigold and some bright daffodil yellow. So that's kind of like yellow ochre color, which that would work also. Daffodil. We want a little bit of pink, blue, and yellow. So I like to talk to you about these colors. We've got a blue out there, but we can use a little bit lighter blue too. And some pink. Okay, maybe pink and blue. You can use some purples. I don't know, I just want you to have fun. I'm gonna put it out because I want you to use whatever pink color you want. There's just some colors. Okay. Now, the floating medium is very important of what we're trying to accomplish here. So I'm going to come in here. I've dampened this brush. I've laid it on the paper towel. Now I'm going to pick up some medium. And the first thing I want to do is pick up the bright yellow. And this is daffodil and marigold. Okay. Pick up some more medium. And we want it really light. All right. So we're going to come. This paper is a watercolor sheet of paper. All right, so I know you see some of the pencil through here, but I noticed a lot of watercolor artists, they do leave that showing. All right, and then this is coming up here. So I am going to pick up a little bit of white now, guys. See, and just a little bit on that pencil. I'll make that disappear a little bit. A little bit down here. All right. So I'm going to leave that there. We'll come back with a little scruffy brush. See the little scruffy? Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of brown down. A little bit of brown. And, well, excuse me. There we go. So a little bit of yellow, a little bit of I remember there. And then put a little bit here. And then I'll put a couple leaves. All right, so that's one. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this brush to the side and side of the paper towel because I don't want to wet it before we paint again. I'm going to pick up a little bit of thicket and citrus. All right. And I can pull a stem in there. There we go. Just a little bit. All right. Now on this other side, same thing kind of happens. This is showing you underneath this jar, those leaves, and then because this is going to show through the jar. And then right here. Okay. All right. So I want to come just a little bit more. So you notice I can go right over what I already painted and do these big strokes out here. Get a little bit of the thicket and pull a stem. All right, so this also, I'm going to pick up a little bit more. All right. So I'm going to put a hydrangea in there, and then we're going to start doing our jar. We're going to do the back of the jar just to get it ready for the front of the jar. But before I do that, I'm going to pick up some white and some purple and magenta. And I'm going to do a little bit of slip slapping for the hydrangea. And the blue is going to kind of cover it up. Okay, now all I have to do is put a little bit of white in here. All right, so I am going to, this is kind of going to be tricky. It's going to be the back of the, it's going to be sitting in front of these flowers. All righty, thank you. All right, now what's going to happen is I've changed this up a little bit, so I'm going to bring this jar a little bit lower since I made my flowers a little too low. But you see how you can change one stroke, no problem. I just take my pencil and draw it a little bit lower. Okay, so we're just coming down here with it. All right, and I'm going to take the 16. I'm going to get a teeny bit of blue because the jar is going to be blue. I've got a 16 flat and floating medium. All right, so if I come over here a little bit, I can still leave this here. You can see my palette. You can use a double loader, or you can use a little bit of, okay. Okay, so we're gonna get some more. See how this is cobalt. No, it's not. This is Prussian blue, excuse me. All right, so I do have it where it goes across here and back, which you're not going to see that. But I'd like to show you how we come across here and we do the rim right here. And we come back across. You can use a smaller brush for this, but I just want you to see, I'm going to make some rings in here with some darker colors. But what we're trying to do right now is get the shape of the jar so that all of the stems are inside of the jar. Now, this is a new kind of technique I've done where the jar is you're going to see through the flower to the back of the jar. By the time we get all the highlights and stuff in the jar, then it will look like it's in the back. Okay. More medium, a little bit more blue. A little bit more medium, a little bit more blue. And come around. All right. And then now across the bottom. All right, now what I like to do, you remember I said I put this little guy in here. It's way up there, but now I got to put it right in here. Okay. Okay. All right, now, so whatever color jar, it could be a green jar, it could be just clear white, but it wouldn't be on solid white. You have to have something to make it go against, contrast against. All right, so I'm going to come in here more after we put our stems in. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to put all kinds of little wild stems, but these are fall colors that we're going to be painting in here. All right, so I'm going to put really thin stems, and all of this is going to be over this, and the flowers are going to be in the back. Okay. All right, we're going to keep putting this in here. So medium and then more paint. Come over here. Okay, a little bit here. Okay. All right, just little bits. Okay, I can put a little darker one here. And I usually like to make it really full in there. So a couple of things that you can do. Make sure there's not really leaves inside the jar, because the thing is that you don't want leaves inside of your jar. It makes the water smelly and not last very long, right? All right, so I'm going to come here. Now, usually I tell you guys to put a slip slap color in the background. But the thing is, I want this to be airy and see-through. And that's not usually what I do. Okay. So that's all the green that we want. So is it starting to look like something to you? All right. So the green's got to dry, and it can probably, let me hit it with the dryer one quick minute. Okay, one of the problems is the shininess that you see sometimes is because there's a sealer inside the paint, and it might leave a shine there. I touch this. Maybe I'll sprinkle it later. Okay, so I'm going to get medium, and let's go back to our blue. So I'm going to pick up some blue, but I also want a little bit of white. Okay, and we can get a little bit darker here. Okay, it's a see-through jar. Okay. And see, when you want it real transparent, but you can't see the stems and everything, and you can see through the what's in the back, right? Okay, so look, we're going to come across here, And I'm going to bring that blue right across the hydrangea. So you're just getting a shadow of it. All right, so let's pick up more blue. And I'm going to be up on the chisel of the brush. Touch, lean, pull, pull. Now we're going right back over all that green that came through and landed in that jar. Okay, back and forth, right? Well, to finish this off, I'm going to come in with some white. Okay, so we want a little bit of a white ring. Another one. And a little highlighter one. All right. And then we also want to come across with some white. I kind of come down here and pull. And this is a glare. So a little bit of white. Put a few glares. Like one's a little light that goes here. All right. Okay, so it looks like a jar, and that looks like it's behind it there, and the flowers behind it there. So I think that's a little interesting, and I hope you guys like that. Saw a fresh flower arrangement. I thought, wouldn't that be great? And so let's pick up. This is a 10. All right. First thing I want to do is I want to pick up. Let's get a 12 maybe. And let's pick up, no, I'm still going to do something different. I want to get my scruffy brush. See the scruffy? You want to fluff it. It's natural hairs. Most of my brushes are synthetic nylon. All right, so I'm going to tap the white and some yellow ochre. This is marigold, not yellow ochre. But you can use yellow ochre. That's what you have. All right. So then I want some yellow. So daffodil yellow. And a little bit of white. A little bit of white. A bit of white. Okay. All right. So I think we want to come back. We're not going to put that scruffy in yet because I'm going to do some centers. So let's take this yellow flower and I'm going to try kind of do a triangle. So I'm going to do 1, 2. Now what happens here is I push on the chisel and stand up. All right. So there's 1. All right. And then I put a little bit of white when I don't want you to see through, like right there. And right here where some of those grass are. And then, so 1, 2, let's do these upward. A little bit of white. Okay. So now right in here. Okay. So remember that scruffy I put to the side? I'm going to take some burnt umber. Let's put some little bit of berry wine. All right, I'm done with that now. So I'm just gonna grab some with this 10. I'm gonna come right under here and grab and pull down. All right, so we got a balance of yellow. We can come in a little bit later and add a few yellow dots. Actually, we'll do it right here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to wash my brush and I'm going to put some pink. So I've got, oops, not yellow. Let's get some white and magenta. And I'm going to put one down here and I'm just pulling. And then we're going to put another one. We'll put it up here a little bit more. All right, and we want one more. So this one I'm going to put into the yellow a little bit. I'm pulling the white down first. And so we had a little pink in here, so that's still there. That pulls that pink down. Okay, and then I'm going to put some purple up there. And then you have a fun little project. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to get some wicker white or titanium white and some violet pansy. All right, so I'm going to push left, push left. All right. Okay, so we got some purples in there. So I think that has a nice mix. It's a little fall. It's got a few yellow daisies and black eye Susies, whatever. But let's put some yellow in here. This is a real basic beginner little project. The last thing I can do is just add a teeny bit of green in front. There's my small brush. There we go. So now we finished it off. We can put a little bit of green up here. And then a little teeny bit of green in here. We'll give it a nice look of on these pink flowers when it hangs over a little bit. Well, I like to go for a light effect. I mean, I'll paint every day a little something. There we go. All right, sign it and enjoy it and share it. All right. Thank you very much. I hope you learned some technique here today. All right, see you next week.